Hey guys, Dr. Daniel here, and today I want to talk a little bit about toxicity and what it actually means to be toxic. Before I get into that, let's talk a little bit about why you should do the clean detox system, or at least some sort of clinical cleanse. This is probably one of the most common questions that I've gotten over the years from patients. Basically, people come in and they ask me, how often should I do a cleanse? Or is a detox even necessary? Or how many days should I do it? How long does it take? These are all very important questions, and let me just say this first. I really believe that the best way you can support detoxification in general is by changing your diet. There's a lot of fad detoxes out there today, and I really don't want you to spend any time doing those things. In fact, for the most part, if you can get the toxic foods out of your diet, like genetically modified foods and high amounts of sugar or foods sprayed with pesticides, that alone is going to help your body detox. And then, following through with a few other clinical recommendations, I don't see how you could not put your body in a state of healing. Now, toxicity is important because it causes a majority of health issues today. In fact, the World Health Organization came out and said that 80% of cancer is due to toxicity. Toxins actually turn on your DNA in a way that actually produces cancer cells. Also, another issue is that toxicity causes you to gain weight. It also keeps you from losing weight. So for many of you that have tried to lose weight and you just can't, despite changing your diet or exercising, that's a good chance that you're toxic and you need to do a clinical detoxification program in order to get those toxins out. Toxicity has also been linked to immune diseases or autoimmune diseases and a number of other health issues today. So why should you detox? Well, number one, you need to do it to prevent disease. Number two, if you're struggling with a health issue, especially something like a thyroid condition, a digestive issue, an autoimmune disease, or any other health problem, you've got to get on a detox in order to cleanse your body and eliminate these harmful compounds that are actually keeping you from being healthy. Is detoxing necessary? This is my no bullshit truth about detoxing and why you need to be cleansing your body today. First, let's define toxicity. Toxicity is the degree to which a substance can harm humans or animals. Now, there are actually three different types of toxicity. You have acute toxicity, which involves harmful effects in a body through a single or short-term exposure. You also have subchronic toxicity, which involves harmful effects in a body for more than 1 year, but less than the lifetime of the exposed organism through a single or repeated exposure. And then you have chronic toxicity. Now, chronic toxicity involves harmful effects to the body over an extended period of time, usually upon repeated or continuous exposure. The first thing that you should notice from this definition is that toxicity is actually subdivided, right? You have acute, you have subchronic, and you have chronic, based on how long it takes for you to start to demonstrate symptoms from the actual exposure. And this is where a lot of people become mistaken from toxicity or from different types of food. So this brings up my no BS point number one. Do not confuse acute toxicity with chronic toxicity. An example of acute toxicity is acetaminophen or Tylenol, which if taken in a large enough amount requires a liver transplant within days to prevent death. The question, of course, is what dose of Tylenol is toxic? Well, scientists measure this by what is known as the LD50. Now, LD50 stands for the lethal dose required to kill 50% of the population. All poisons, including prescription drugs, have an LD50. We can all tolerate toxins at different levels based on our unique makeup. So this brings up my no BS point number two. There is a spectrum of toxicity that we each individually have. Some of you have toxins in the body that others might not be able to tolerate at higher levels, causing you to get sick much quicker or much slower depending on your individual genetic makeup. This is why you cannot compare yourself or your tolerance to certain foods, chemicals, or exposure. Some of us can simply get by eating certain foods every day, while others cannot. It's that simple. So what's my point? Well, my point is that there is a statistical distribution of toxicity, which is why it's called the LD50 and not the LD, which would imply that everyone would experience toxicity from the same dose every single time. And that's just not true because we're all so different. So in other words, some people can experience toxicity of Tylenol at 6 grams, whereas others will experience toxicity at 20 grams. Here's my no BS point number three. Just because a substance does not cause acute toxicity doesn't mean it does not cause chronic toxicity. Sticking with Tylenol as our example, it turns out that much lower doses than the LD50, if taken day after day, are also toxic to the liver. The point is that much smaller doses, if taken repeatedly, are still toxic and cause harm to the body. This is where people go wrong with food. Milk, as an example of chronic toxicity, has been shown to increase inflammation in the body. You might not have symptoms at first. So maybe when you're a kiddo and you're drinking all this milk and you grow up and you're still drinking milk, over the course of many years, milk can actually become very toxic and it can start to cause problems to the point of disease. Here are my top 5 exposures of toxicities that we experience every single day in our lives. Number 1, at the top of the list, is going to be food additives. Number 2, chemicals found in the water supply. Number 3, your environment. Number 4, beauty and personal care products. And then number 5, stress chemicals that are actually produced within our bodies from all the external stresses that we're experiencing in our lives today. Here's my no BS point number 4. Personal factors play a significant role in your susceptibility to toxins. What I mean by that is factors such as alcohol consumption, caffeine or prescription drug consumption, underlying liver diseases, viral infections, genetic susceptibility or differences in our genetics. All these are highly influential in both acute and chronic toxicity. For example, Tylenol stresses out the liver. Taking other drugs that also do the same thing to your liver, or maybe consuming alcohol or consuming caffeine or having another underlying liver disease, all these things are going to invariably affect the way your liver functions. So no two situations are ever the same when it comes to toxicity or eliminating these toxins. Here's my no BS point number 5. Everything can be considered a toxin, so we should consider the exposure to toxins and our individual ability to tolerate such exposure when it comes to health. Here's an example. Oxygen in large doses is actually toxic, but oxygen in small doses is necessary for health. Sugar, on the other hand, in large doses actually never killed anyone, but sugar in small doses over a long period of time is associated with all sorts of problems, including diabetes, heart disease, and even cancer. So what toxic substances are you chronically exposing yourself to and you don't even realize just how bad it really is? This is why you need to be doing a clinical detoxification program. Our bodies naturally detoxify every single day of our lives as part of a normal body process. Detoxification is one of the body's most basic innate functions of eliminating and neutralizing toxins in a way that our colon is cleansed, our liver, our kidney, our lungs, our lymph, and even our skin are all cleansed every single day. Unfortunately, in this day and age, with the pollution found in our air, our water, our food, our bodies, we have a hard time actually keeping up with all these natural detoxification systems. So our chemicalized diet and way of life, from dirty animal proteins, too much saturated and trans fats, caffeine and alcohol and plastics, artificial colors, the cosmetic products that you use every single day, the industrial chemicals that you use in your household cleaners and your detergents, even in your clothes, all this has radically altered our internal ecosystem, and we're much sicker for it. Our environment has literally changed. Body systems and organs that were once capable of naturally cleaning out unwanted substances are now completely overloaded, to the point where toxic material remains inside our tissues. Our bodies try to protect us from dangerous substances by isolating and surrounding them with mucus and fat so that they will not cause an imbalance or trigger an immune response. In fact, studies show that some people can carry up to 15 pounds of extra mucus that harbors this waste. A clean detox system is the solution. Using detoxification through special cleansing diets, we can assist our body's natural self-cleaning system. It is especially important for people with immune-compromised diseases such as cancer, arthritis, diabetes, and chronic fatigue. However, even if your diet is good, a good spring cleanse can revitalize your system and rid your body of harmful bacteria, viruses, and parasites. This is exactly why I personally do a clean detox program every 3 to 4 months. By the way, if you want to learn more, if you want to get more advanced and go through my program, I've got an incredible system called the Clean Detox System. I get into all the benefits of detoxification and walk you hand in hand on how to detox daily over the course of a 30-day period or longer, depending on your personal needs. And I guarantee that if you follow my system, you're going to transform your health for good. I'm so excited for you guys, and I look forward to hearing all the success stories that you're going to have.